Greetings everyone, welcome to Chess Advanced, and this game is played from Title Tuesday, and with the white pieces we have Praggnanandhaa, and with the black pieces we have the world number one Magnus Carlsen. So this game is going to be absolutely amazing, and Magnus always, in Title Tuesday he always trolls people. So here we have one trolling game. So without further ado, let's start with this game. Pragg starts with e4. We have h6 by Magnus, also known as Carlsen's Defence, and here we have h3, knight to f6, e5, and here we have knight to h7, but here knight to f3. Well, I'm kidding. It's not called Carlsen's Defense. It's called Car Defense, but also could be called Carlsen's Defense. Here we have d6, d4. We have g5, knight to c3, and here just bishop to g7, bishop to d3, knight to c6, and e6 just going all the way. I mean, he's definitely trying to get that check in, ruin black's castling privileges, and also maybe something else. And this game is going to be very, very nice. If you cannot capture from the bishop, by the way, if you capture, then just pawn push, and your position just absolutely falls apart. So here f captures was played, bishop to g6 check, king moves, and here we have queen to d3, and here a very nice move, knight to d6, bishop to d2 was played, bishop to d7, and just a very nice queenside castle. So here he could actually go for moves like this, maybe just push the pawn all the way, try to create, if you're able to get this line to open up, I think you can do a lot more damage. Bishop to e8 was played, trying to trade the pieces, and here nothing done by Pragg. Here just rook d to e1, bishop captures, queen captures, and queen to e8, queen to d3. Don't want to trade queens. Black is in a very, very vulnerable spot here. Knight to d8 and just g4. Pragg is definitely trying to do something, but he cannot push it just yet, because knight captures would be just not that much of a trouble, because you can never actually try and go for that exchange, because you have to understand that this is this is still a threat. So here we have queen to f7, king to b1, and just king to e8, and definitely just trying to get that king off that file. Maybe just just go for a nice king walk in Title Tuesday. We have h4, knight captures on g4, and that's what I was telling you about. You just can never go there, because once the king is off, you can always have to worry about it. But Pragg doesn't care. He goes for rook h to g1, knight captures on f2, and now the queen is attacked. You have to move, so queen to e2, rook to f8, but now comes this rook to g3, and in this position you have to be a little bit careful. There are many ideas in the air. Also, there is a double attack on this, so you cannot take that lightly either. You have to keep the rook here. So g captures on h4 was played, knight captures on h4, and here just bishop to d3, just defending that knight and nothing else, and asking Pragg, how are you going to break through here? Because knight is very nicely defending this pawn. You can never actually capture it. Your knight is doing I don't know what, and this knight is just there in your face. So it's a very annoying position to have. Also, if you trade everything, there is an additional pass pawn, and which could be a thorn in actually Pragg's side. So you never know what could happen. Rook to f3 was played here, attacking the queen, queen to g7, knight to b5. I mean, knight to b5, a very, very ambitious idea, just trying to go for this fork. And I think when you started out actually trying to attack the king, and now you're going to play on the queen side, it's a little bit deviation. That's something not something you should have done. Here rook captures on f3 was played, knight captures, and instead of this knight captures, you could just directly go for this. That's the best move in this position, because hereafter you just have a very nice fork here, and hereafter king to d7, you just capture on e6 first, because that is the idea here. Queen captures, king moves, and after knight captures on f3, now just bishop moves. We have bishop to a5 check, and once you play the pawn, you can see there are many light square weaknesses which queen can take advantage of. Bishop to c3, queen to f8, knight to d4, and you have to capture. I mean, if it lands, you're just dead. Bishop captures on d4, bishop captures, rook to e8, and here we have this very nice rook to f1, queen to g8, queen captures on g8. We have rook captures, bishop captures on f2, and you'll be up a piece. And I think definitely Pragg would convert this to a win, but surprisingly, he didn't go for it. Either he didn't go for it, or either he didn't calculate it. But here, after rook captures on f3, he just immediately took, and that was not something he should have done, because now comes bishop to b6, and now what are you doing here? What is that knight doing there? This is coming, and that knight is looking just silly there. So we have bishop to e3, but now just comes this bishop captures on e3, queen captures, and just very nice knight to g4, attacking the queen. Queen to e4, we have king to d7, now going for the king walk, knight f to d4, and there is some pressure here, but it's very difficult to break through here, because queen to e5, now asking for a queen trade, and if the queen trade occurs, then you have to understand, after that knight captures, you have absolutely nothing in this position. This pass pawn, once the rook gets out, I mean, the game is basically over. Queen to h1 was played, queen to d5, but just this queen to g1, and Magnus is just so much better here in this position. I mean, after playing that move and getting there, it just pisses you off a little bit. But well, if he can make it work, if anyone can make it work, definitely it's Magnus. h5, but just knight to c3, attacking the queen. Queen moves, and here we have knight to b3. knight to c6 and just going for this very nice rook lift, queen to a6, knight to a4, and here just very nice queen to b5, knight to c5 check, d captures, and he's trying to sacrifice as much material as possible, but he doesn't have anything in this position. Knight captures on c5 was played, king to c8 and just a4 attacking the queen. Just queen moves back, and here you could try something, if you're losing, why not just try something and go with the bang? Just rook capture on e6 would have been very nice, because here after a5, trying to make some breathing room for your king, you play rook to g6, and here after this very nice knight to f6, you play queen to e3, king to b8. You have to get out of there, because you cannot you have to understand here, this is just not a ideal square or a square you should be, because and this is not either, because this is coming. So here a very nice utilization of that, rook caps on f6, king to a7, and here after rook moves back, now this pass pawn starts to push, and once that gets here, it's just over. But here after knight to e6, queen caps on e3, rook captures, rook to g8, maybe with the 3-on-3 here on the queen side, and with this extra 2 pawns, I mean, black is completely winning, but maybe, just maybe, you would be able to more interested in playing this, because other than what happened here, queen to b6, rook to f4 was played, but after this knight to d8, now there is not much to hope for in this position. Here rook to f8 was tried, but here queen to d6, and now what do you do? What is that knight doing there? Absolutely nothing. Everything is defended, and although black is playing like it's a rook down, but even then it's just winning. Here just b4, we have b6 just pushing the knight away, we have queen to g2 just going after that rook, but here just c6, and there is absolutely nothing to do in this position. And that was yet, because now there is actually something you can do in this position. So I'm going to ask you to pause the video and try and find out this amazing tactic, which lets you just maybe draw this game. So have at it. So congratulations to everyone who was able to find this move, and the move is the very amazing rook captures on d8. And now you have to understand that you have to capture with the king. If you capture with the queen, then this comes in, and you just lost them. You don't want to allow that. So here after king captures, you get this very nice very nice royal fork, and yeah, I mean, you do lose the queen, but you have sufficient some compensation for it. I mean, all these pawns, and with this knight, you might just be able to draw this game. And but that's the issue here. Both players are very much down on the clock, and when you're down on the clock, you have much more pieces. Other than the queen, it's always better to have much more pieces, because you'll be able to easily flank with all those pieces and pawns. So I think maybe just obviously Pragg didn't see it, but here just either way it wouldn't have mattered. Here after c6, we have knight to d3, but it just doesn't work. We have king to c7, queen to e4, rook to c8, but here Magnus would have to work a little bit for his meal, because his position is just very, very bad. a5, knight to b7, rook to f7, b captures on a5, queen to h7, just trying to push his luck a little bit. But here just going for this rook to d8, I mean, you're not worried that much about it. Rook captures on e7 with the check, rook to d7, rook captures, and queen captures on h5. We have e5 now, and what are you doing here? B captures on a5 was tried, but you just open your king side to all sorts of attack now. Knight captures on a5, and here just knight captures attacking the queen, knight captures, and just queen captures with the check, and this king moves to a safe square, and now there is nothing for you to do other than resign. But Pragg somehow didn't resign. Maybe they were just both very much down on the clock. Queen to e3 check, c5, queen to h6 check, knight to c6, queen to f8, queen to d1 check, king to b2, queen to d4, king to a2, queen to a4 check, king to b2, and queen to b4 check. And here just going for a very nice king to a1, but just a5. We have queen to c8, a4, c4, but now queen to c3 check, a2, and just a3 was played. And it was on this move, on move 63, that Pragg resigned the game. And why he resigned, I don't even have to tell you, I can just show you. So there was nothing to do, and Magnus got away by playing the Carlsen's defense, and Pragg was not able to punish him this time, but maybe just next time. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with games like these, so stay tuned to the channel, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon.